Welcome to Ethiopia, a land of ancient kingdoms, breathtaking landscapes, and a heartbeat that has echoed through human history since the very beginning of time. I'm Sinalias, and today we're exploring one of Africa's most storied and soulful destinations. Ethiopia is one of the world's oldest nations, the cradle of humanity, where the ancient fossil Lucy was discovered. It was home to the powerful Aksumite Empire, one of the first to embrace Christianity in the 4th century. Through centuries of faith and artistry, Ethiopians built wonders like the rock-hewn churches of Lalibela. In 1896, Ethiopia defeated Italy at the Battle of Adwa, remaining the only African nation never colonized. Today, Ethiopia is a vibrant land where ancient tradition and modern life meet, proud, resilient, and timeless. Our journey begins in Addis Ababa, the capital city and the beating heart of modern Ethiopia. This city is alive. It hums with music, coffee, and the rhythm of a culture that's proud, creative, and unstoppable. If you want to truly understand Ethiopia, it all starts with its coffee. This is where coffee was born. It's not just a drink, it's a ceremony, a moment of connection. Each pour, each sip is an offering of hospitality, a sign that you are welcome, that you belong here. Beyond the city, Ethiopia's landscapes shift drastically, from green highlands to arid deserts, from volcanic craters to the world's lowest point in the Danelek Depression. This country isn't just diverse in culture, it's a kaleidoscope of nature itself. Our journey continues to the beautiful Bahir Dar, the jewel of northern Ethiopia, nestled on the shores of Lake Tana, where the Blue Nile meets its mighty journey. This city is a blend of calm waters, vibrant culture, and breathtaking nature. The trip from Addis to Bahir Dar was nothing short of incredible. Bahir Dar is known for its laid-back charm. It feels like a city built for both rest and wonder, where ancient monasteries rest on island shores and waterfalls thunder just beyond the horizon. Bahir Dar reminds you why Ethiopia is called the land of origin. Once there, I met up with my tour guide, Bray, for what was sure to be an incredible adventure. Here, in the heart of Africa, two mighty rivers meet, the Blue Nile from the highlands of Ethiopia and the White Nile from the Great Lakes of the south. Everything about our journey was absolutely idyllic. As we rode the currents of the Blue Nile, I couldn't help but to reflect on how significant this trip had been to me thus far. We continued our travels to a small town located in the heart of Bahir Dar. The locals welcomed us with smiles and laughter, and they joined us on our journey to the waterfalls, which the area is best known for. The people I met there were full of both kindness and acceptance. It was truly inspiring. On our ride down the Blue Nile, we passed ancient churches which were dedicated to Archangel Michael and Archangel Gabriel before arriving at our next destination. The locals which had welcomed us introduced us to their home, which was nestled in the thick hills which covered the landscape. We traveled down an old brick road, wandering up through the hills to find the 15th century monasteries that stood in the center of the brush. Even though the hours-long walk through the hills was arduous, it was also extremely beautiful. We navigated through the vines and branches with excitement to see the 13th century monasteries which stood the test of time and lived in the center of these woods. The wooded hills surrounding Bahir Dar aren't just scenic. They're part of one of Ethiopia's few remaining natural forest belts. Many local families live within or around these forests, preserving age-old traditions of farming, herbal medicine, and spiritual connection to the land. Our tour guide, Bray, confidently led us to our next stop, the monasteries of Bahir Dar. The monasteries around Bahidar trace their roots back to the 14th century, during the height of Ethiopia's Christian monastic movement. Scattered across the islands and peninsulas of Lake Tana, these sacred sites were built by monks seeking isolation, peace, and closeness to God. Many of these churches were established under the patronage of Ethiopian emperors and noble families, becoming not only centers of faith, but also guardians of history, art, and knowledge. Within their rounds are centuries-old illuminated manuscripts, hand-painted icons, sacred replicas preserved through war and time. Exploring these sacred sites felt like going back in time. The bright colors of these holy stories, which scaled the walls of these old temples, reminded me of the beauty of my own spiritual practice. The angels and saints weren't just concepts to the monks who stewarded these temples. They were living and breathing beings who were ever present and ready to assist. All of their stories were meticulously preserved in age-old libraries written in sacred text, mysteries hidden from public eye, kept safe by the people who held a strong connection to these spirits in their hearts and minds. One thing that I find particularly interesting about these ancient tomes is that they contain the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth book of Moses, along with several other books that I've never seen. And as a conjureman, this is like gold to me. I wish I could stay in those temples and study those ancient texts and learn all of their wisdom, but we have to move on to our next destination, the waterfalls of Bahidar. We climbed down from the hills and said goodbye to the monasteries and got back on the road. I had a chance to see the locals just living their everyday life. We saw sheep herders as we drove through the cities of Bahidar on our way to the waterfalls. From this point on, I think the story really speaks for itself. We had some incredible adventures, and I am forever changed for my trip to Ethiopia. I'd like to give a special thanks to my best friend Michael for inviting me on this trip and being there every step of the way, to our tour guide Bray for being there with us every step and showing us what to do because we didn't speak the local language, and to all the tour guides, friends, and old friends that we met along the way. If you've been thinking about visiting Ethiopia, all I can say is it's a once-in-a-lifetime journey. Start in Addis, go to Bahidar, and then to Lalibela. It is absolutely life-changing.